John Hershey defends Katie after a troll comes after her. Viall teases the new season of The Bachelorette. And Peter Weber explains why he did not go to Bachelor in Paradise. Hey guys, and welcome back to our channel. Before we get all into it, make sure you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel and help us get to 100,000 subscribers. As always, I'm your host, Zachary Reality, joined with the lovely Alison Van Dam. Now, Alison, I gotta ask, you haven't been here all week. What were your thoughts of the Michelle and Nayte breakup, as well as the Katie and John? We'll get into it, but what were your initial thoughts on those breakups?
So many breakups happening, and then we have Zach coming out of the woodwork to defend Tayshia. Like, it just feels like something in Bachelor Nation is in retrograde. Something's happening. It's just, I was heartbroken about the Nayte and Michelle of it all, because they have continued to fight against these rumors that they're not together, that they're not seeing enough of each other, that they're not liking each other's Instagrams. We even got the whole statement from Michelle about why the ring wasn't on her finger. Like, they were going overboard, trying to remind us how in love they were, how dedicated they were to each other. So then when I was going through Instagram and I saw Michelle's story, I screenshotted it and I sent it to multiple of my groups of friends that I knew watched The Bachelor. And it was heartbreaking, because I think we all had a lot of hope for them, and they had the down payment on the house. Like, I was just really rooting for them. And I know it's so tough to stay together, but that, I think, broke my heart a little bit more than the Katie John situation of it all. Because let's just be real, after the 12 days of messy, after leaving Blake, after finding John again, after posting everything, I was just like, can we be done? Like, I think I'm kind of done with the whole Katie, John, Blake drama of it all. So that one I'm kind of fine with letting go, but the Nayte and Michelle really got me.
Yeah, I mean, well, whether you're done with that or not, we're here to discuss it. And it's no longer 12 days of messy. It's 13, now 14 days of messy, because John is giving us a little bit more insight. I feel like Katie has been so vague throughout this breakup. You know, she posted her statement. John posted his statement, and now he is defending his ex, Katie, after a troll comes after her. So basically what happened is that many fans are invested into like what happened between the two of them and what went wrong. And a lot of people are thinking that Katie is to blame because of her short, vague statement, as well as, you know, the 12 days of messy. A lot of people took that the wrong way. Well, a troll actually came for Katie. Well, many of them did, but one of them really came for her, and John decided to defend her. When a troll said that she was to blame and that she can't hold down a man, John wrote, "You will speak a finite number of words throughout your life. I urge you to speak more kindly, especially about someone you don't know. I have never been so supported or unconditionally loved by a partner. Assuming and implying that Katie is doing something wrong does not sit right with me. The internet can be a mean place. Let's not add to it." I mean, honestly, I know you said you were, you know, kind of over it, but I really thought they complimented each other well. I thought they calmed down with all the messiness, you know, that was last year. I just don't understand what went wrong here, because he seems like Katie, you know, was the most loving partner he's ever had. What do you think happened?
I don't know, because honestly, based on her statement, I was like, okay, is she delivering this kind of cryptic one-line statement on her story because he broke up with her and she's really upset and she just doesn't want to discuss it? Because honestly, if she broke up with him and then she doesn't even have the ability to say kind words like this about him, that's not a great look on her either. I love when people are still speaking positively about people they've dated. I had an experience like this once where someone asked an ex about me and they were kind of trying to stir the pot. And my ex was like, you know what? I have nothing but good things to say about her. So let's just drop it. And that's kind of what I've tried to do with other exes that I've had too. Like, you don't need to let everyone in on the messy bits and what actually happened. Like, you just need to have respect, if nothing else, even if you don't even like the person, just respect them enough as someone you spent time with. But I love this. And it's a similar vein of, you know, Zach defending Tayshia against that troll when the troll was saying, well, Tayshia, like, this man cheated on you, and Zach coming to her defense. So I really do like that they are able to just kind of put the past in the past and still make it clear that some of these things didn't happen. And I like what he said to this person of, you know, you speak a finite number of words, like you only have so many. Let's not just be putting negativity out in the space and let's not just be dragging each other. Let's just make it positive. And I just hate negative comments. I hate when people DM negative things. I don't like when people drag people. It's not necessary.
Yeah, and one reply, because there obviously was thousands and thousands of trolls, really does wonder because everyone screenshot it, everyone picked it up. Here we are talking about John's reply. So I like that he did that. I think a lot of people are speculating that it's possible, he was the one that broke up with her because he is making it a point to say kind things about her and make sure that the public doesn't kind of bash her. So we don't know what happened. I guess that's what we can assume. But we also know for a fact that they are on good terms if he is going to defend her. And, I love what you said. Like, he is respecting her and, it is what it is. And I hope we get more insight and details because I'm truly confused. I really thought that they were going to vibe. But moving on to our next topic, Nick Viall is teasing the Bachelorette. So we are just a few weeks away from the new season, which is coming July 11th. And Nick said that the season was actually hell to film. He says because they decided at the last minute that production was going to go with 2 bachelorettes, and since they already had, the travels and the booking and arrangements and everything, it wasn't the easiest thing to adjust. I also can't imagine how they're going to fit 2 hours of show with all of these love stories. It's like Gabby's going to be dating guys, Rachel's going to be dating guys. Is there going to be 8 hometown dates? It seems like a lot. We do not want 4-hour episodes. And Nick also shares that it is going to be on a cruise ship, part of it, and they will not be pitted against each other. And his understanding is that very early on, they're going to be dividing up the men. So what do you think about all of this? I mean, Nick is really coming in hot with a lot of teases.
He's helping us out. I have been bringing up the cruise ship rumors to Nick for a while now on the Vial Files. And because I really didn't know, we've seen the photos. We saw that one with kind of the blurred out blue background. And I was like, is this an ocean? And I don't think anyone knew for a while. It's clearly been confirmed that part of it is on a cruise ship, which makes sense because we've also seen the photos from night 1 outside the mansion. We've also seen those leaked photos from hometowns. So my guess is maybe that middle chunk is on a cruise ship. Maybe that was a workaround because they have, 2 bachelorettes. They have a bunch of cameras going at the same time. Maybe it's easier to kind of just move everything around on a ship and go from stop to stop without having to deal with planes and all this other kind of travel. So that's my guess. It was probably hell to film because you're not only dealing with 2 bachelorettes that you've never done, but a cruise ship, which you've never done. There's too many variables. If we're going to throw a cruise ship into it, it should have just been a normal 1 bachelorette season. But I do think it was a last minute call to make both of them bachelorettes. So they were kind of scrambling. But Nick also said that this season is going to have almost a paradise feel to it because of the idea of options. So he was saying from what he's heard, if one guy originally was really into Rachel, but they realized they're really not hitting it off, that guy supposedly is going to then maybe have the opportunity to say, hey, Gabby, should we see what's here? So in that way, it has more of a paradise because it's not just a bunch of people vying for one. They do have a little bit of a choice in that way. But I also brought up on the show, too, I was like, if I were Gabby and if someone's been vying for Rachel's attention for several weeks and then she wants to send him home and then suddenly I'm the second choice, I'm not sure I would be giving that guy a shot either. I want someone to choose me, from the beginning. I don't want to be someone's leftovers. But what do you think about all that?
Well, I mean, I think that sometimes a guy might want to put all of his attention on Rachel because he's initially attracted to her. And then after a couple weeks, he might realize there's nothing there. And then he's on the show. He might as well try it with Gabby. I think the best move for the guys is to kind of just explore both relationships if possible. We don't know the exact breakdown of the rules yet. Explore both of them slowly and then just see which develops. And if you start developing feelings for one, then zone in on that. And if it doesn't work, then maybe you can go to the other if it's not too late and other connections haven't formed. There has been some new pictures released for the promo, and it kind of looks like they're in Greece with these beautiful blue pictures and the yellow dresses. So I am excited for this cruise. I think it's going to really bring a different element to the show. It's giving Sweet Life of Zach and Cody, except Sweet Life of Gabby and Rachel. Definitely give me credit if you steal that line, people. That is so funny. I'm just so excited to see what happens. I wonder if anyone will get pushed overboard. And I also really I really think what's going to happen is when the guys get sent home, they're probably going to go off on a dinghy boat. Those little boats and send them off to sea. Yep. And it's going to be really, really funny. What are you most looking forward to seeing about the season now that we have all these teases?
I'm honestly, I'm so into the travel, and that was something I missed a ton for the, few COVID seasons that we had, and I feel
Hmm.
like even now we'll get even more so into travel. So I'm really excited for that just because I love seeing them explore new places, and I think that was always such a fun element of it. And honestly, I'm looking forward to slash really intrigued to see the relationship between Gabby and Rachel. I know we're running with this phrase of they're best friends. I don't really
Best
necessarily think they
friends.
started that way. So if they are best friends, that clearly happens sometime this season because they really were just acquaintances. So curious to see how that happens. Curious to see if there is any tension because, from what we've heard from other people that have been on the show, these days are long. There is very little sleep. There's interviews 24/7. You're constantly being vulnerable. So I wouldn't be surprised if there are some tears, some fights, maybe. If I don't have my, 8 hours of sleep, I'm about ready to fight with someone. So who knows? But yeah, I'm excited in
Yeah.
general just because I think there's so many factors we haven't seen and now they're all being put together.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch the cruise. I would not want to be on the cruise because I would get seasick. Like, I'm sure somebody is going to throw up. Like, on cruises, like, the boat's always moving and, like, sometimes it tilts. It's, like, really, really scary. Thank God the Titanic didn't happen because, like, we need to see this show. We need to see this love story. And July 11th is the premiere date. So we're just a few weeks away. The big cast list has been revealed with all of the guys. Looks like there's some really good looking guys in the mix. So we'll definitely be keeping up to date with The Bachelorette. Now, moving on to Paradise, because this is kind of crazy. Peter Weber reveals he turned down going to Bachelor in Paradise. Now, a lot of people were expecting to possibly see him on the beach because he is single. And he was the Bachelor. We know Becca came last year, but Peter shares that he decided to decline the offer to go to Paradise. He says he was going to go, he was going to do it, but they just couldn't agree on a contract at the end of the day. The deal was almost done before he decided to pass on the offer. He got the days off. He had the month off to go down there and give it a shot. And he was really looking into Paradise because it's the one thing he hasn't done yet. He's done The Bachelorette, he's done The Bachelor. He also shared that he was inspired to go to Paradise because he wanted to connect with a specific special person. He's not going to spill the name, but he does allude to the fact that it is a girl from Clayton's season. So would you have liked to see Peter on the beach? And who do you think he is talking about?
I don't know if I necessarily need to see Peter on the beach. This puts like a few red flags up for me because I do feel like it's always the people who weren't really in consideration for Paradise that release these statements of, well, they asked, but we couldn't come to an agreement. So that raises
Like,
little
what does
red
that
flags. Although
mean?
I'm sure, I don't know. I just feel like the people who are asked to do Paradise really and don't want to do it, I don't feel like we don't really hear that. And I feel like sometimes it's the people who make too big of a show out of it or are like, no, they really wanted me. It's like, did they?
Mhm.
But he was a lead. We just saw Becca Kufrin do it and now she's in love. So maybe they wanted to kind of do that again and start making it a trend of bringing a lead back. I don't know if you also saw there was a Dumois post. This was a while back of a Bachelor person going to a place in New York and leaving because he wasn't recognized. Some people thought
Mhm.
that was Peter. He's now saying, well, we couldn't reach a contract. So maybe he does have a little bit of an ego. Maybe he wanted a really high pay that they couldn't,
Mhm.
do. I don't know. There's like a few pieces where I'm like, I don't know. But it would have been interesting for sure. I don't know if he would have like left engaged per se. My first thought was maybe Teddy. I absolutely adore Teddy. She was great. And I think she is someone that a lot of people are looking forward to meeting and getting to know on the beach. So yeah, I thought it would have been interesting to see the two of them together.
And to kind of like echo your point, like maybe he's making a whole big deal about it. Maybe there isn't even a girl from Clayton's season that he was into. Like maybe he's just throwing it out there because, he wants some press or whatever. I mean, like who could he possibly be talking about from Clayton's season that he wouldn't want to pursue in the real world? Like why go to Bachelor in Paradise and put yourself in that position? Also, like Peter might not get the best edit if he goes to Paradise. He does have a reputation in Bachelor Nation for, going from Kelly to Maddie to Hannah and like not even in that order. So who knows exactly what he was talking about when he says contracts, like I mean, the first thought is obviously like the money. I think Peter deserves to get paid more if he was the Bachelor. Like he does have a higher, following, a higher stake to be there. But there also could be other accommodations that go into the contract that he could be talking about. There was a lot of speculation that Becca Kufrin, who went last year, she possibly had her own room while a lot of the contestants stayed in bunk beds, and there's no AC. Like maybe Peter wanted to be pampered a little bit more than the average contestant with like 6,000 followers that's just coming off the most recent season, which I think is understandable. As I mentioned, he does have a bigger name, but it's also possible that Peter could have been a diva about it. I mean, what do you think could have propelled him to go? Do you think he got scared because of the edit he could have possibly gotten, or do you think it really was this contract?
I think it might be a combination of both, honestly. I think the danger is you can go on a show like this, and especially after he's gone through, so many women and his reputation has kind of gone downhill, you could view Bachelor in Paradise as, oh, well, this could be, my redemption arc. This is how I'm going to convince people that I'm a different person. But you could also make it 10 times worse. So that's the gamble that I think a lot of people go through. It's, I think, easier if you left your season and some people liked you, but a lot of people are neutral. You can go in neutral and then build, your reputation up from there. But if you're going in and people are already kind of dragging your name or they don't really like you, that's a big risk to take. So yeah, maybe it was fears of that paired with, oh, what if people find out how much I'm making or that I wanted these special treatments and all this other stuff. So maybe it just wasn't worth the gamble.
Yeah, I would have loved to see him there, though. I mean, I'm the type of person where I want all the OGs, everyone who's a big name on the beach. I think that it would have been more interesting, more drama, and I would have liked to see him bring it on Paradise, but he decided not to go, and they're about halfway through filming, so who knows what's going to happen in Paradise, but these are our top Bachelor headlines of the week, so make sure you guys comment down below and let us know your thoughts and your hot takes, and before you head out of here, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell so you're always up to date with all things Bachelor Nation. As always, I'm your host, Zachary Reality, joined with Alison Van Dam. Our social media handles are on the screen right now, so be sure to give us a follow, come say hello. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will catch you in the next one. Bye.